Mm. What a day. Gonna be wild. Let's see who's out there. A lot of folks. Good to see y'all. Georgia Peach, hello. Everybody, and good morning. I just want to say, hey, and thank you for the $2 super chat, Barry. It is a glorious day. It is going to be a glorious day, TGIF and all that, but it's a strange one because last night I got messages just after posting a video that was exactly contrary to this kind of movement by Netflix. And the fact that genuinely Hollywood believes that Netflix will somehow acquire Warner Brothers without the government saying no thank you. I have a feeling the government's going to say no thank you. And I think that we're going to be taking a look at Paramount's complaints about the interference in this process of acquisition. And I think you're going to see that the 80 something billion dollars here is going to be in dispute. So just keep an eye out on that. We'll talk to it. We're going to talk about it in a minute. We also have a great show coming up after this. That Park Place will go live with extra magic hours. I think that fella Jonas is excited to lead that. Of course, that will have the conversation about Warner Brothers as well. But we'll get into that for a few moments. I still think that it's possible the Snyderverse could return, which is wild. Yeah, I know. I never thought I'd say that, but there's that. We got Cat Slave in the house. And look at all these people. We got Commander Ed Straker of Shadow out there. Ms. Pick Cafe over on the Green Machine. In fact, the Green Machine is growing. For those of you over there, thank you. It's good to see you all. Lucius Nature Triste. A little bit of Latin in your morning. Good to see you. So made it to the live chat 4 times this week. That's amazing, my friend. I appreciate that. And of course, I also appreciate Crazy White Boy. Not only because it's a great lyric, but, it's good to see Crazy White Boy in the house. Griffin's View is here. Great to see you. We got a couple of pieces of history this week from Griffin's View. And the amazing Tobach is out there. What's up? I kind of wish Culture would start with something like, oh, hello, I didn't notice you there. Okay, I could probably do that. We can add to the cringe of the show if that's what you choose. Just to say hello to Commander Ed Straker of Shadow. Good to see you. Let's see. Who else do we got out there? A lot of people like the beautiful Deeple. The beautiful Deeple. We got a super duper chat from our friend here. Looks like a lot of people are questioning today's announcement. Like Lee Kindler, Netflix buying Warner Brothers is the worst option in an already bad situation. And I agree with you. In fact, I've said as much. And I also think regulatory wise, it's a problem. Not to mention the fact that Netflix does not want all the other parts and pieces. So they're also woke AF, which I have a big problem with. Hey, Angela, good morning, and thank you for gifting a Culture Casino membership. On our way to 1,000. Thank you for that. Well, folks, 6 minutes is going to start right about now. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about. We don't have a lot of time to do it in, but there are many, many stories out there that you may have missed because of this Warner Brothers one. For example, let's take a look at this first one. Warner Brothers is not the only one making news. Sony's making news. Men in Black film is in the work from Bad Boys for Life scribe Chris Bremer. And whether or not that actually works out, hard to say. I will say this. I wouldn't mind seeing Jones back, but Will Smith, I'm tired of. I think he's worn out his welcome in Hollywood. I'm curious what you guys think. Moving on from that, we've got Israel remaining in the Eurovision Song Competition, but there's going to be several countries stepping out. For example, Netherlands and Spain are going to boycott. They're going to boycott because they have a problem with this faith-based nation. Not for any other reason, which I think is quite garbage. We've got our good friend here, Daniel Alpine, for $5 saying, gotta go easy on the super chats for now. Well, I hope that you take care of your money, and I appreciate the support that you can afford, my friend. So thank you very much for that. And I hope you do save for your future plans. I look forward to your animation school, my friend. I also look forward to a conversation about Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers. An $82.7 billion deal that doesn't make any sense. The streaming giant's proposal includes the $5.8 billion breakup fee and promises to maintain Warner Brothers' current operations, including theatrical. This means that all of the things they didn't want, they are willing to service, which would include CNN. There's a lot out there. Theater owners are already speaking out. They think this is a disaster of an idea, and I agree. Warner Brothers doesn't like theatrical releases. They've been explicit about that, especially this guy, Ted Sarandos. You can't trust him, and you certainly can't trust the co-CEO. She is a very compromised WEF partner. Not to mention that, this particular company, Netflix, is completely compromised and willing to undermine the efforts of the United States in pursuit of a global order. Of course, we got more to it than that. We've got other things that are still likely to show up, like Clue. A scripted series is coming from Dana Fox and Nicholas Stoller. They're going to be doing what they do over at Peacock. So you're going to get to see something super fun, maybe along the lines of the film that we all enjoyed, or at least I did back in the day when we made thoughtful films with creative outcomes. Clue certainly would have that and would be something you could certainly do seasonally. Fox News has set 6 separate appearances for Erica Kirk next week. That's right. She's going to be on 6 different things at 6 different times for 6 different outcomes, but it will dominate the ratings, I'm certain. This woman is that powerful, and her organization is that powerful. And I really can't wait to hear what she has to say in light of just how much I'm starting to dislike Candace Owens. Moving on from there, Netflix is expecting to keep releasing Warner Brothers films theatrically. At least that's what they say. I don't believe them. I don't think anybody should believe them. We've got that conversation happening, as well as this one. Paramount's insisting that the Warner Brothers Netflix deal would be DOA as it presses its case and actually accuses bad faith by Warner Brothers Discovery and Netflix, which I think it's going to be hard to argue with. The government could go after this deal and likely will. Maurice Dubois is going to exit CBS News amid the evening news overhaul because he doesn't fit anymore. Nobody does. This is breakup time, and Barry Weiss is driving it, and we're going to likely return to the days of just the news, folks. Just the news. We've got David Zaslav's memo to Warner Brothers staff saying Netflix buy reflects generational change in Hollywood. No, it just acknowledges more change in Zaslav's pocket, as well as Mr. Malone over at Liberty Media on his way out the door. As I predicted, this thing would try to wrap up by the end of the year. I think that's what they're aiming for. We've got Russia restricting FaceTime because they want to shut down free speech. So there's that. We've got luxury fashion firms being asked for documents as part of the Italian labor abuse probe. This happens at a coincidental time, and we'll get to that in a moment, but the U.S. Health Department unveils strategy to expand the adoption of AI technology in a conversation around hepatitis B vaccines. We've got a faulty glucose monitor being linked to 7 deaths and more than 700 injuries, so the FDA wants you to be well aware that these are out there in the marketplace. We've got a creative director, Dario Vitali, exiting Versace 2 days after Prada's acquisition, at a time when there's an investigation into luxury brands, and of course, the bear. That's right, there's a bear frolicking Chicago snow, just like a human kid, having a good time out there making bear angels or snow bears or something else. I don't know. But I just thought that'd be fun for today's Smile at a Bear. You can find the entire video of the bear rolling about on Tickety Talk on ABC News. Not that I would suggest you do that at all, but it is what it is. Anyway, we're done with 6 minutes, and I hope it was enjoyable for all of you. We're not done with you, though. We've got a lot of you in the chat wanting to share with us today, share your thoughts and your efforts out there in the world. We've got Barry the Music Man coming back with another one saying, I like Snyder's casting of DC better, except for Flash. Me too. And I think Flash was the reboot point. That's what Michael DeLuca pointed to. If you watched yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about that and why the Snyderverse or return to the Snyderverse might make sense, not just from a film studio side of things, but maybe perhaps from a financial side of things, a side of commerce. Let's see. We got a aged boomer suggesting better buy up that Warner Brothers physical media because Netflix does not do digital. No, they don't. Hang on just a moment. It's going to be very hard to acquire things in the future, so I think you should follow aged boomers' suggestions. Look out for Warner's stuff if you can afford it, and increase your physical holdings, so to speak. A lot of very bad ideas come out of Netflix and unfortunately penetrate the marketplace. And eventually the political landscape, which is another problem that I have with Netflix, just how radically political they are with radical ideas. Remember, these are the ones that this is the digital site that you canceled for cuties. Let's not forget that, please. Please. Speaking of please, just want to say please and thank you to the very lovely, the first Dragon Queen. I hope you're doing well, love. Says, I made one video and one live stream. Awesome. That's that this morning. Proud of myself. Well done. It's a good thing. Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Prove me wrong. Hugs for all. It is. And that conversation will be fire today during the course of the Morning Magic or Extra Hour stream over on That Park Place. So don't miss today's stream. You'll be automatically redirected to it from here. They don't have a Rumble channel, so Ms. Pick Cafe will send you somewhere else, likely, maybe over to Midnight's Edge in the morning. Well, you cannot remove Christmas from Die Hard at all. The whole reason that there's a Christmas party with Christmas bonuses with a large-scale wealth transfer is the establishment of the Nakatomi Plaza building, which is also, part of the centered conversation in the film. You would have to get rid of a great deal of dialogue if you eliminated the Christmas element, including the sweatshirt. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Amongst other things. And of course, some of the dialogue from Bruce Willis himself as he fires on America's favorite dad, who's playing the police officer. So, yeah. Not to mention the Christmas bear, the conversation or the dialogue with the limo driver, and everything else that came along with all of that. So, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and it's inescapable. And again, it's built right into the plot and the dialogue. You can't get rid of it. Sorry. And I could go on, but it's the same reason that you can't you can't pull Christmas out of Lethal Weapon. That was Christmas element. There's a lot of Christmas in these action movies, folks, and that's okay. It's one of the reasons why they make recently action movies that are Christmas movies, because it works. It just works. Anyway, so there's that. We got our good friend Texas 84 out there. 19 days until Hans Gruber drops. I know. I'm very much looking forward to Hans Gruber falling from Nakatomi Plaza. I actually have an advent calendar if you want more proof. I need to dig it out, but I have an advent calendar where, Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza. Still think it's great. I love that idea. It was really brilliant. We got our friend SFXF314 Sabretooth Raptor for another $5 in super duper chats. Good to see you, my friend. Saying, Clue? Really? Hey, I love Clue. I loved the original film. Thought it was brilliant. Lots of high quality Hollywood stars, great character actors, and a solid plot that everybody could follow, including Mr. Body. Hollywood does not have a clue. Well, I can't argue with that, Sabretooth Raptor. I think Hollywood needs Lorne Nuzzle. Lorne Nuzzle. Did you check out the Valhalla class? No worries. Be well. Thank you, my friend. I will say this. First of all your ships are brilliant, my friend. Second, the Lorne Nuzzle. I think anything that Lorne would do as far as following some kind of lore and story would be high quality. I think that's a person that understands the things that he's doing, whether it be Star Wars or anything else. I think he would bring a certain understanding and deliver that to an audience, no matter what it was. So Lauren's one of my favorites, and I'm a huge fan. Our good friend Staccato DDS over there in the comfortable climate, which I'm not at all jealous of and don't miss at all, would say it's good to see you, Staccato. I'm okay with Netflix getting it. It could be a consumer win by getting HBO content with one subscription. Well, perhaps there's except that I don't think that they would treat it that way. I think they would treat it as premium content. They would charge you for like a separate channel, which, by the way, they already are like, if you think about it, AMC Networks has been doing for a while as part of various streaming elements or services, whether it be Prime or something else. I think they're going to find a way to charge you no matter what. And I think that's a big problem. And I think that the fact that all of them just raised their prices, including Disney minus, should tell you a lot. They're not making money on streaming. In fact, they're trying to overcome all their losses in traditional filmmaking with streaming, which is stupid. Just if they make high quality material, you have a reasonable release window for that material on a streaming service eventually, or a premium pay channel, which is what HBO is and should be treated like and should be the same now. yeah, I don't understand the changes. I think they've been cutting off their nose to spite their face for far too long. And I think that Netflix has a gross misunderstanding of what their value proposition is. That's a conversation I'd love to have with somebody like Valiant Renegade and maybe a few others, because I think a lot of corporations are at that point. And I think one of those corporations that just recognized where their value is and the fact that they'd strayed very far away, afield from that, would be Starbucks. I think Starbucks would be a prime example of a company that decided or thought that they would be in this third market instead of the second market where their niche was. And I think the idea of establishing something that was its own space, or what they call, this is a buzzword, folks, a third space. I think that was their biggest problem, and one of the reasons why they no longer showed profitability. I mean, it's observable. It's an observable thing if you take a look. When they stayed in that second space in the marketplace, when they stayed in the uh, the add-on market, they were better off. I think sometime around the establishment of about 1/4 of their restaurants having drive-throughs was probably the point at which they should have stopped. They went from the coffee place around the corner, kind of Dunkin' Donuts kind of idea, to a third social space that was something else. That was supposed to be, a community hangout. Became completely different. Um, I think when they tried to commercialize that the way that they did, that they lost value, and they went after a market that they didn't even understand. So I think you don't want to become a community center. I think you still want to be in a profitable business. And again, that's what happened, I believe, with Starbucks. And I think that Netflix is going to find its own version of that and be less valuable to its core community. But hey, those are my thoughts. You're welcome to whatever you guys think. We got Fire Chief out there. Thank you for the super duper chat. I appreciate the $2 saying Men in Black 4 was a bridge too far for me. No more, please. Yeah, I think Men in Black 5 is going to be a problem. Look, Sony wants the money. I understand that. I don't know if you can get Jones back. I don't know what kind of shape he's in. I don't even know if he's alive. And I don't know if he's still acting. I don't think so. But I know that you could get Will Smith for $2 and, probably a Starbucks mocha latte. I think that's probably the going rate for that dude. And maybe, a brain wipe of what his wife has cost him in damage. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't cost much to get made. I know a lot of people were talking very positively about Bad Boys, and I'm not sure that's going to be me. But thank you for that, Fire Chief. And then, of course, the wonderful, the First Dragon Queen contributes again for another $2 super chat to say, debunked part of your argument already. How? It takes place at Christmas time. The dialogue is completely full of Christmas references. The Santa hat and sweatshirt commentary. Not to mention the fact that unlike Jonas, I don't think you could put any party there that would explain the family references required to have that be an event like that where he would be welcome. Again, the dialogue would have to be sweepingly changed for that movie not to be a Christmas movie. So, not sure that's debunking, but I'll take a look at it. I'll watch your video, love, as I usually try to do. We've got Just a Dutchie contributing in a huge way. I hope everything's going well, Just a Dutchie. I saw you the other day. I think it was yesterday, in the chat when I was hanging out with all you guys in the chat. You guys noticed I wasn't over there contributing to the conversation with Nat and Mo and everybody. It was a great live stream yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was wonderful. I don't think I would have been a good guest on that stream. I was going to be very adversarial. There was a lot of opinions being dropped I wouldn't have agreed with, but Just a Dutchie drops 10 more Culture Casino memberships. We are getting closer and closer to 1,000 members, folks, and that's our ultimate goal: 1,000 members of the channel. If we can maintain that, that maintains the channel in a way that I could not even imagine, and it keeps the bill collectors from the door when it comes to the internet costs and everything else for the channel. So thank you all for that, and thank you, Just a Dutchie, for your generosity of 10 memberships. Lots of people got those. A lot of people turned green. I love it. I'm now green with envy. Speaking of amazing people out there, we've got even more. We've got WG, the man himself, probably one of the most brilliant people I know that you don't. I know WG and you don't. It's probably, there's a reason for that. But somebody who has greater understanding of things that I would love to know more about. WG sends $20 to me. Wow, this is extreme. Saying Netflix releases a documentary series about the life and times of Abraham Lincoln. Would be the final? Would the finale be shot before a live audience? I think that would be. I think that would be hysterically funny. The culmination of which is a gunshot with John Wilkes Booth, a Democrat, standing behind him in ankle-breaking boots. By the way, if you're mud, you have to seriously question your Hippocratic oath. So if you guys don't know the lore behind Lincoln being shot, it's interesting. There's so many parallels between Lincoln and Kennedy, not the least of which is the staffer named Kennedy that worked for Lincoln, and many of the other things that go along with it that I always find fascinating. But I think you'd have to shoot it before a live audience. I know Lincoln was shot before or behind a live audience. Crazy stuff. That's crazy lore. Thank you for that, WG, and very amusing at the same time. We got another super duper chat from the lovely and amazing Angela Richter saying, there is a Christmas tree in Die Hard. Yes. So it's a Christmas movie. Yes. And, it's a Christmas tree. It's not a holiday tree, Disney. Man, Disney sucks lately. Thank you for reminding me of that, Angela Richter. And, yeah, it is a Christmas tree. Huh. Yeah. Christmas bear. All kinds of Christmas things. There's a Christmas tree in the living room at the Gennaro household where the scumbag redheaded reporter, I forget his name, goes. He's a scummy guy. And then the next thing is the following winter, they're at a different airport. That was an odd one. Didn't really enjoy that movie as much as other people did, but I liked the third one. And of course, I also enjoy Lethal Weapon. You guys, sorry, no matter what. And thank you for the $10, Angela. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway. Oh, you guys are great. Thank you all for being here this morning. Coming up next in like 45 minutes is going to be That Park Place live with Extra Magic Hours. So there's that. Who else is out there? We got a lot of people here today. Karadwin is out there. Disney sucks. Yeah, well, no doubt about it. Ms. Pitt Cafe says there are 2 member chats from Just a Dutchie and Maravita. Maravita, you will never know. By the way, still one of my favorite names. And I'm grateful that you're here, Maravita. Thank you for celebrating your 7th month as a channel member. I appreciate that so very much. It means the world to me when you guys use your member chats. And it also means the world to me when Ms. Pig Cafe reminds me so I don't miss them. Because, yeah, it's not normally in my brain to look for the word celebrates. 7 months. I am sort of here. Broke a tooth. Ouchie. On Thanksgiving. So dealing with the healing pain of extraction. Oh no! I'm concerned on Netflix. Bye movies. Yeah. I think Warner Brothers logo will mean so much less when not led by a proper studio. When led by a person who hires mercenaries. This is like a despot in a in a foreign country hiring mercenaries. That's what I feel about Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers. Some of you will understand that, some of you won't, but that's how I feel. Just a Dutchie, who also is celebrating 4 months of being a member here, in addition to distributing 10 more memberships today. Thank you very much, Just a Dutchie, for your help and participation. Saying, spreading the holiday joy. Due to an intense period at work, I will be less available to join this beautiful community. Enjoy the gifty. Oh, you betcha. And thank you so very much. And you know what? There were 10 gifties, which we appreciate. Our good friend Randall Orser, all the way from Canada, who's been here for a very long time, over 3 years, 38 months to be precise, says, in the end, there is absolutely no need for Warner Brothers Discovery to be sold, period. They need to stop this consolidation of studios. I think I agree with you. That would be preferable. But Zaslav's boss and friend, Mr. John Malone, got in this to make money. And we all knew what the end game would be eventually. We just didn't anticipate it would be with another studio acquisition. So it is what it is. I mean, AT&T acquiring Time Warner and all the other assets that just were shuffled around way back when was a big problem, right? But when AT&T decided we need to dump debt and get back into the communications business, which is a profitable entity for us, whereas this, this side of communications, the studio side, the television side, all these other network items, they're basically a financial suck. They super suck. And they're removing a lot of revenue that we could otherwise, claim as profit. So doing a reverse Morris trust to spin out the entity to a successful manager of cable channels who had recently converted to digital format and was making some real inroads as far as saleable advertisement for Discovery. That's really what was inspiring all of this. Zaslav was really good at that. And he was also very good at identifying what was not working and what the potential solutions for that could be, and managed to, make money. So he had talked his friend and boss, John Malone, into the idea that Liberty Media could manage a reverse Morris trusted combined entity in a way that would eventually lead to overall profit, if not eventual sale and massive profit down the road. So I think we all kind of saw it coming and mentioned it at the time, but hey, I could be wrong. So I'm sure that Valiant Renegade, myself, and possibly Jonas, and maybe a few others had mentioned that was likely what would happen, and there would end up being an acquisition fodder down the road. So there's that. So Randall asks, which is better or worse, Netflix buying Warner Brothers or the Saudis? That's the question. Well, Saudi money involved in what the Ellisons are doing is not really anything that would bother me all that much, because you're going to have revenue. You're going to have revenue investment coming from only about 9 to 10 locations. Right now, the largest single investor in AI and in AI technology companies, the ones that are actually developing it, would be BlackRock. BlackRock has $1 trillion invested in the top 10 AI related companies, including NVIDIA and others. And I think we're going to have bigger fish to fry down the road when it comes to the investment companies that we need to be fearful of and look to find control over at some point. But that's just my opinion. I have a feeling that the U.S. government needs to get the investment fund companies under control, whether it be whether it be the V guys, the street guys, or the rock guys. It needs to get them all under control. It's going to be a problem. Vanguard especially. I think people underestimate it because they don't have a figurehead who's a massive globalist douche like BlackRock does and Larry Fink. But these are all entities that need to find themselves under the thumb of government as far as control goes and starting to hold them accountable for their fiduciary duty, which has largely been abandoned by FinSec and everybody else that's supposed to be monitoring it. But that's an entirely other conversation as well. Again, speaking of entirely other conversation, we have to say a big shout out and thank you to our friend Maravita, who says, I have decided this is my year of the struggles. Well, I'm sorry about that. The tooth thing would bother me the most. That means next year will be the year of aftermath. No new, just adjusting. I'm going to will this into being true. Well, wonderful. Yeah, you have to be the change that you want and create the changes that you need in your life, which is why my investment is going to be even more into the sustenance gardening and the eventual relocation of all of my efforts, including the studios and the farming that I intend to do in the future. So this will be the year that I pull the trigger on Tennessee at some point, probably towards the end. And we can all talk about that, but you will be a large part of it because I can't do it without you. And I won't do it without you. So thank you for the amazing $20 super chat to say that and this. Also, welcome back, CC. Glad you are okay. You worried us. Well, I worried myself. And as people pointed out, how that particular circumstance, situation, and that day in particular could have removed me from the planet. Yeah, I've been very grateful every day and thankful. And I think that it clarified a lot of things for me and for where I put my efforts and how much more I will be investing in my faith. So that's a different conversation, but no less true than it was the day that everything happened. So you have to decide to fulfill your purpose. And I decided that day. It didn't hurt that it almost didn't happen. It was really rough, guys. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're all here. So I really do. I appreciate all of you. Speaking of appreciating people, I miss this guy. WG says, don't hate it when someone answers their own super chat question. Yeah, I do hate it when somebody answers my own super chat question. I do. Well, WG, you're amazing. I think you're really good at that. I think WG's one of the best. Oh man, I miss you, bro. I miss you. I hope I get to see you at one of the meetups this year, whether it be Florida or Vegas or Texas. Just let me know where you're going to be, and I'll make a point of it. What else we got here? Toby Moss is mainly buying Harry Potter. Here, a lot of people are. I own all the books multiple times over, first editions, signed copies, you name it. I got all that stuff. Plus, all the first releases of the films and things like that. So I understand Toby Mouse. I truly do. Um, Owning media is kind of a unique thing. Um, I mean, think about it. In the times past in history, they had to burn the libraries to get rid of the media, and they did that multiple times in the times of Constantine and others. Uh, the Library of Alexandria in many places, and I like to say, well, a lot of that stuff was recovered in the Middle East, and I'm going, no, it wasn't. There were many priceless things that were lost in the fires that were intentionally set to silence knowledge. We've had a lot of silenced knowledge, whether or not we want to recognize it or not. And we've been lied to for a long time, whether it be by the woo woo stuff that Gary covers when it comes to, Egypt, and the things that Graham covers, and others. We've had a lot of knowledge that has been removed and or remains covered up or hidden, and quite literally translated underneath stone, which we've recently shown that's actually true. So I'm all over the place today. Watch out. Who knows? I might say something crazy. Crazy. Tobox suggests that Fast and the Furious is going to go Pixar cars. There's cursed films for you. Hey, I think that's coming. I'm going to say this. I don't think anybody sees Cars the same way I do. And I don't think anybody sees the characters in Cars the same way I do. To me, and I mean, you can fight with me if you want to, but Cars is a horror movie. It just is. And the horror character, the bad guy, the villain, is Tomater. So, and if you don't see that, I don't know what to tell you. You just have to think about, how it's kind of a dead end town, and Lightning McQueen ends up there, and somehow might be the only person that escapes that town at some point, because everybody else is just fodder eventually for Tomater and his serial killer mindset to tear them apart and part them out, and everybody ends up in the junkyard, guys. It's a horror movie. I don't care what you say. We got our friends here, like Scooby Pop. How you doing, dear? Hope you're doing well. Looks like your show is growing. Looks like your show is growing big. I love it. Keep it up, dear. You guys can check out Scooby Pop at least once a week, and Tony working really hard to make sure that it's extra special. So you guys are doing a good job. We got Jaffo out there, Tennessee. What's in Tennessee? Well, hopefully a lot of land, hopefully a creek or a body of water that I can have my own water and just be self-sufficient in every way, including my ability to generate electricity and everything else. So that's the idea. Plus, what else is in Tennessee? Pigeon Forge. So I want to be close enough to Pigeon Forge to go to Dollywood regularly because I love the cinnamon bread. And you would too if you've ever had it. It's really good stuff. So we've got Maravita once again for another $5. Maravita says, can't wait for your gardening channel, but take care of yourself first. You bet. In fact, this weekend, I have already got a list to put together the video that I'm making, which is how to make your own soil. I want you to construct your soil to save money, number one, and two, to assure yourself success. I think success in gardening starts with the soil and building your soil and building upon your soil. And eventually I'm going to talk at length about biochar and a lot of other things that can force success in some rough situations, some rough soil situations, because there are places in the U.S. where you got terrible soil. It's a lot of clay and not a lot of material there to hang on to good nutrients and things like that. So we'll have a conversation about that, and I'll try to keep it relatively short, 10-15 minute discussion, and a combination of ingredients you can get at your local home store. And if you build the soil yourself, you save a lot of money. Even if you pick up your worm castings and compost that I'm going to insist are part of a good base for a long-term raised bed soil. So there's that. And thank you for the $5 super chat, Maravita. So lots of people popping in. Bill Blom is here. We've got the real Sean Cromell in the house saying, "Morning, friends. Good to see you, Sean." Jill says, "Yes, take care of yourself." I am. My nutrition is better than ever. My focus on growing healthy things is bigger than ever. It's funny because it feeds right into my purple potato fetish, which they're really growing right now. My three preferred potatoes for health and wellness, they're all growing like weeds, getting ready to flower, which is good, and will likely be harvestable here in the not too distant future. I'm going to also make a video, probably not this weekend, but soon, maybe in the next couple of days, that talks about not just covering your plants for success when you're trying to keep them alive during a chilly part of the seasons, but also how to keep them warm, because that's the other reason to lose your plants. It's not just getting a frost. Some plants are better after a frost. In fact, any brassicas, if you're familiar with that term, which would be your leafy lettuces or your things like Brussels sprouts or whatever, those particular plants are better after the first light frost. They actually taste better. They kind of harden off, for lack of a better terminology. And then after that point, you just need to keep them a little bit warmer so that they don't get too cold. So there's all of that. Lots of weird stuff I know for no reason. WG says Wilco. Anyway, you guys are incredible. Tobak wants to know, do I even exist? As far as I know, yes. And for many reasons, including your ability to chat. You've been here for a long time. It's good to see you, Tobak. We got Jeff Elms out there. What's up, Jeff? Saying, historically, history is written by the winners of wars. It's true. That's a true statement. Yeah, but we need to start writing as well. We need to write down what trials and tribulations we've been put to by the globalist douchebags that are out there. And we need to expose the EU garbage for what it actually was. Because it wasn't ever designed to be a trade style organization. It was the first attempt, or the largest attempt, for them to have a one world government through manipulation. We need to eliminate not just them, but the UN for the corrupt organizations that they are. That's why it's really easy to find corruption in them and corrupt people in them. It's power corrupts, and that kind of power corrupts absolutely. Let's see who else is out there. The victor controls history. That's also true. Cool water bottle, says Karadwin. Well, it's just green. It happens to vanish when I need a sip. And I'm drinking a water cocktail, for lack of a better way to describe it, because it's not just water. We have water and ice, and we also have a little bit of Gatorade in it. And number one, it gives me some flavor, which I appreciate. Used to use lemon ice cubes or orange ice cubes for that purpose, but it also um, gives me a little bit of potassium, which I think is good supplementally for me. We got the staccato once again. Good. He says, save some room in Tennessee for making moonshine. I will. I'm going to save actually room for building, uh, believe it or not, sound stages. One of the things I want to do with that property is be able to produce low budget films or help people do it. I think that one of the reasons why we don't have a stronger independent base for making films and television shows and of course podcasting and things like that is we don't have cheap enough studio space. I want to create the opportunity for that to happen. One of my ultimate goals before I leave this planet is to leave behind a legacy that allows me to build, and in fact, I'm going to solicit funds for this purpose in the future from entities and well, and even audiences at some point, I imagine, to make those things happen. Because I think that's what we're missing. It would help for people like Archer out there, and for Lightning Sketch Productions and many others out there to have spaces to work in to create things. And I think you would have more brilliant minds in podcasting if they had a place to come together and have conversations. It costs an awful lot of money to put a studio together that'll allow for 7, 8 people to occupy the same space. It's one of the reasons why I idolize what my friends over at Salty Nerd Podcast have been able to put together and develop the Vegas podcast studios. And I think that more of that needs to be done around the United States. So lots to be said for sure. So, but I'll definitely save some room for moonshine, although I would prefer a high quality red wine, but that's just me. Actually, that's a conversation I need to have with Lou. Lou and I are going to give you a conversation about drinking some good red wine out there over on his channel. So, his what do you call that? Patreon. Yeah. So I got to get with him. I owe him a conversation, and again, it was interrupted by my health. Speaking of which, so was my participation in some stuff that Apollo and I were going to be doing. So keep an eye out. So Apollo and I will be doing some more stuff. Da, 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 da. Look at all these amazing people. Carlos is out there. The lovely Sherry is. I like Mater. Well, I didn't say you can't like him. I just you need to realize he is he's a serial killer. So yeah, Mater's the villain. I mean, he's not really the villain in the movie. He's not set up that way, but you have to think really hard about his character, where he lives, how he makes his living. I mean, would you be surprised if he was cast as like Dr. Frankenstein? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not upset with Trans Am. I think Trans Am was a beautiful car. I mean, it wasn't a Camaro, but it came out of the same idea and design concepts that was originally outlined by Chevy and the number one carriage company in the world at the time, Carriage Designers. Anyway, Cars is a horror film? Yes, it is. I didn't believe you guys didn't realize that. Tomater is the villain. Time to smoke. Time to stop smoking mushrooms, CC. I'm not. Seriously, think about it. Right? This guy takes advantage of vehicles stranded along the roadside, hauls them to, a place they don't know. You know, they get parted out. They reach a resting place in his graveyard. I mean, just it's not that wild. It's a horror movie. I missed the super chat. I'm sorry, Barry. Let's take a look. I'm sure I can find it. Super duper chat from Barry the Music Man for $2 says America is threatened by third world Muslim overrun. I think people are seeing patterns of behavior globally of a lot of people want to say it's the ethnic groups, but it's more of participants in belief systems that seem to be counter to the places that they're relocating. And I would say that seems to be what is happening. I mean, Texas can be used as an outline for one of the places where this is a real problem. And I'm surprised that it's being allowed. So, yeah, there's a conversation to be had around that, but not one that's bigoted or anything else, just one that identifies that fundamentally you can't have two different forms of law in within residing within the same government, which is something that I think is probably going to come to a head in the courts, if not in some other way, unfortunately. So there's that. Those are my thoughts there. Talking Warner Brothers, talking WB offline opens the space for Melania, so this could fly. Huh. You think so? I think there are too many regulatory issues that are going to conflict with this acquisition. I think that was always going to be the problem. Also, I do believe that there is a case for tortious interference by Warner Brothers from the perspective of fiduciary duty of the corporate officers to make the best possible deal. But again, since we don't have enough details yet to have that discussion, I mean, that's merely theoretical at this point, or I'm surmising or evaluating it from those perspectives. I would have to have a lot more insight than we have right now from the outside. I just don't think that trust me, bro, reasoning coming out of Netflix is likely to land. And again, I don't trust Netflix. I haven't ever. I think Hastings covered up for a lot of misdeeds, and on the way out the door, just helped sweep up behind as they rolled a rug over a lot of stuff, including cuties, which I still think is a real big problem. But hey, that's my thought process. I don't know about anybody else. So. Maravina says, for a $5 super duper chat, interestingly, I don't get worked up breaking teeth. I have a genetic problem with them, so they are garbage already, working towards dentures. Understood. Yeah, I have friends who've had issues with their teeth and had to do an entire set of implants. I think there's a conversation to be had around that kind of situation. So it's I want to preserve the teeth that I have. I just want to cover them up and make them prettier, which is why I wish I lived closer to Staccato DDS these days, because I know I could be taken very well care of the good doctor, by the good doctor. Anyway, all right. Let's see. What else do we have? We have Warner Brothers Discovery to Netflix, but if that doesn't happen, if something gets in the way, if there's lawsuits aplenty, if the federal government has regulatory compliance issues with it, if, and that's the other problem. There's a lot of if here. And some of that if, and I will say this honestly, is hopeful, wishful thinking on my behalf, because we would be better off in the world of acquisitions if it absolutely had to be an acquisition, if Paramount was the one to acquire it. Not everybody's going to agree with that, but it would allow for a more unified structure and easier regulatory management for media going forward. And I think we lost a lot of regulatory management or cohesion of media when we got into the cable age. So whether that, and again, that depends on where you're coming from. The libertarian in me is like, good, government regulation, bad, except unfortunately you end up with a lot of bad behavior when you don't have regulation. Media seems to be full of it. We could argue whether or not you would have had the rise and fall of the Weinstein Company amongst other things out there, if there was better regulatory observation. I don't know. The problem is that you can't ask the industry to police itself because you end up with cuties. And Netflix, I think, just to me, is kind of a garbagey organization. But that's just to me. You don't have to agree. So, and for those of you still like spinning on, Tomater is a serial killer, just think about what he does. Seriously. If you're still spinning on this idea that Cars is a horror movie, it is. It is. Not a lot of people get out of there alive. Think of that boneyard. Seriously. Planes might also be a horror film. What was that? Something in Rescue or whatever? I don't know. Look, I understand a lot of people, don't approach it that way, but I'm just looking at it and saying that's some awful spooky stuff going down there. Westfield says Netflix, though, I think is smart, and I'm sure they will define the deals to win over the regulatory hurdles. Perhaps. They must know it's an uphill battle. I'm sure they do. I don't know. Media is full of it, says Cat Slave. Yes, true story. Oh, man. Marcelo says Apex, talking to Apex Comics, Eisner was the beginning of the decline of Disney. Well, if you look at, and by the way, I think Film Threat's D-Files release from Katzenberg was intriguing. I think that's a video from my friends that is worth diving into and watching a lot. I think Katzenberg was spot on, described a lot of current Disney and what Disney has become well before it. Not that he's any better. This is a guy that sunk Hewlett Packard in partnership with that lady and then sunk money into a media company that immediately failed. You remember Quibi? It's not like everything he's thought of has been golden either, but he was right about what would be the future, and then especially in evaluating what the problem was with the successor, Iger specifically. There's nowhere to go, so there's that. Big H says yes. She's a serial killer, but she's like Dexter, a fun, practical serial killer. I'm not sure who you're referring to, but I'm a big fan of Dexter. So there you go. Crazy White Boy asks a question. I'm not sure to what extent, but yes, their production company is still involved. Big Mike and Barry are both still involved with Netflix, of course. According to Toby Moss, Ford's Toy Cars was a horror too. They get their tires eaten. Well, there you go. There you go. We got a super duper chat from Westfield. Westfield 90 says, here, have a super sticker, a lemon with a shoulder shimmy dance. Ooh, hello. Thank you, Westfield, for the sexy super sticker. SFX F314 Sabretooth Raptor says, bye all. Have a great day. I hope everybody has a great day. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm glad Luke's here. Still making art out there, I hope. And Perry says, have another super chat, Culture. Well, thank you for that. Let's see. Who else is out there? We got Maravita once again for $4.99. Says, I would love implants and dentures, but my bank account doesn't support them. I'm sorry about that, my friend. One of the things that I appreciate about self-employment, or especially when I was running my own company, was that I created lots of opportunities to save money for health benefits, like a health savings account. I found a lot of joy in being able to use that to negate a lot of bills. I wish I still had a plentiful account with my latest medical experimentation that I had foisted upon me. But that's always there to help mitigate the costs of a lot of things, including, believe it or not, the one that I had would allow for use as for medical purposes, dental purposes, and even eyeball stuff. So there's that. All right. We got to get out of here, guys. I know I've been here for a while. I love this. I love talking on a Friday. It seems like we just get a chance to chat away. We got another show coming right up. You're not going to want to miss Magic Morning Magic. You're not going to want to miss it. Extra Magic Hours is going to be good today's. And implants have become outrageously expensive. Well, that's why you try to find friends in the dental practices. Let's see. All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to get out of here. For those of you who have enjoyed today, thank you. And for those of you who think I'm insane and that Tomater's not a serial killer. Well, watch the movie again. Carlos says, it's great seeing that you're fine. I'm as good as I'm going to pee. And, yeah, I think I will prove out over time that I'm okay. Ms. Pitcofe says, another member chat from Captain Fandom Nerd. Okay, sounds good. This is why I appreciate Ms. Pitcofe, because she and many of the mods make sure I don't miss things like Captain Fandom Nerd's amazing 49 months saying good morning. A simple good morning from the captain. Good to see you. And thank you, my friend, for being here so very long. You are appreciated. Truly. I'm truly. Okay, I'm not going to sing at you. All right, we got to get out of here. I just want to say thanks one more time to everybody and to Maravita and everybody who contributes regular. It's great to see you, Staccato, Just a Dutchie with the 10 memberships. You guys are incredibly generous, and I thank you. It's good to see Putin's cat, and I hope I see all of you over on Morning Magic starting in about 7 minutes, I think. So you should be automatically teleported to the wonders of some after magic hours or extra magic hours. And for those of you who are not, well, maybe you can teleport yourself, or maybe Ms. Pitcofe can send you over to Midnight's Edge in the morning for the end of their show. So be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. For real. AO.
Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude, crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently, thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty.